Hey beauties, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Riri and I love the end of the year makeup favorites, beauty favorites. Today is going to be my top 19 in 2019 and this one is all makeup. I will do hair, skincare, things like that in the next one. But today we are focusing on actual makeup and I'm very, very excited. And I'm also doing this a little different than I see most people do it, or also different from how I did it last year. But I am going to explain, kind of go through from the very first step of makeup all the way to the end of the makeup application, and also apply and show you guys maybe, physically why I like each product. So we are going to pin the hair up. I will also be speeding through and most likely like doing, one side of something showing you and then speeding up, just because we're going to be here for 3 years and we don't want to be here for 3 years. Okay. So first and foremost, and also disclaimer, this doesn't mean that I didn't like other things that I've talked about. Doesn't mean that I'm not still using other things that I've talked about. These are just products that I have fallen in love with, that I know that if I did not have them, I would go out today and repurchase them. Keep that in mind. So I just got the shower. Everything is clean. And my all-time favorite primers for this year have been my Pretty Fresh by ColourPop. Love, 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 love. As you guys know, I love that entire collection. And then pretty much everything that I tried from Touch in Sol. I discovered Touch in Sol this year. Thank you to all of my beauty sub boxes. So today I'm going to go with this one, although I do absolutely love the Pretty Fresh. But I'm going to go in with my Touch in Sol No Problem Priming Water. And then go on top of it with my Glassy Skin Balm. And what I typically do, or what I have been doing, and this one's almost empty, is just right through here where I'm really, really dry at. I will put this, smooth it up around my nose as well because I get dry there, and then just take whatever little residual bit I have above the brow because that's where I get dry as well. So this particular product, oh my God, it smells so amazing. It has a good slip to it. It's not super tacky. It's not too heavily fragranced. Just a little hint, a little kiss of rose, if you will. And then I'll press that in just a little bit. And then I go in on top with the Glassy Skin Balm that I have used the shit out of. And I wear it between my fingers. And I also start from here with it and kind of pull it up. And then use this all over the rest of the skin. The reason I like to put primers down here is obviously because we pull our foundation down. So I always try to get it on my neck as well, and then also on my lids. Again, smells really nice. The texture of this is really nice. It gives you a nice little kind of slip to the skin, but it's not overly tacky or sticky. I am not somebody that likes a super sticky primer. That is personal preference. And then it goes into the skin beautifully, goes in really quickly, which I really appreciate. So moving along to foundations. Now I decided to put this into all three categories and I forgot to grab one. So hold on one second. I decided to do my foundations in kind of three categories just because I've used different ones for different times of the year and I love all three equally. So first up is my IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Airbrush Perfecting Powder in Illumination. This does have an SPF of 50. I have the shades light, medium, and tan because I got very tan this summer. It has an SPF of 50 in it. It goes on like a butter. You can see just how much I loved her and used her up this year. I also was using this for just an all-over foundation, but I also like to set my face with this kind of all over with a fluffy brush. Absolutely love it. Worth every penny. It doesn't leave a weird cast on the skin. It doesn't break me out. I feel like you could definitely use this if you have very sensitive skin the way that I do. I mean, you guys know I have a ton of rosacea, broken capillaries, things like that. I'm allergic to a million things and I break out a lot with things that are too aggressive. So absolutely love it. And I love the fact that it has an SPF in it. In the BB CC Cream Tinted Moisturizer, this is no shock at all, but it's my Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer from ColourPop, and I have been using the shade Light 7W. As you can see, I have used a whole lot of this. I really love it. I love the way that it feels on the skin. It gives just enough coverage, just like a little sheer veil of coverage. Doesn't hide everything, but it definitely hides my redness and stuff like that. It leaves this beautiful lit from within glassy type of look to the skin. It feels really nice on the skin, keeps my skin hydrated and stuff like that. So I love it so, so much. But for today, because I'm also filming another video, I'm going to go ahead and go into my other regular foundation. And I have since, in this last month, discovered a couple, so they can kind of be honorable mentions. So they will be honorable mentions, but this one right here, I used it almost every single time that I did my makeup for months and months and months. And I am in the shade 40WY, and it is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation. And I love this stuff. I feel like a little goes a long way, but it is buildable. It has medium coverage. It's really, really pretty. It wears all day on the skin, and it literally is what it says. I mean, you definitely do not feel like you have anything on the skin. It is very, very light. It doesn't have a heavy fragrance. I feel like it blends out beautifully. It does not accentuate any of my texture or anything like that. If you are a full coverage beauty, this is not for you. But I definitely have, you know, built it up before. I think that it's really stunning. And again, I'm going to hurry this up. So I will do half my face and just show you guys. It's enough coverage for me. And again, it can be built up some, but I love it. Especially the way that it just leaves just a slight little luminosity to the skin and a like lit from within appearance, which you guys know that I appreciate and I love. So I will get up close and show you what she looks like. But yeah, these are my top three. Again, I have a few that I will be mentioning for my honorable mentions, but these three products are the ones that were my ride or die all year long. So I will get up close and you can see the difference. It's not super, super crazy heavily, you know, pigmented or full coverage. You can still see a couple like little age spots. But the redness, the broken capillaries, things like that are like, you do not see them at all, but it's so pretty. And it literally does just look like skin. You cannot tell that you're wearing foundation. So I will be right back. All right, we are all set with our foundation. Next up, we are moving on to concealer. I have two best of the best of 2019 concealers. My very favorite one that I discovered this year is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. I have the shade Fair. I use this one strictly for under eye use because it is very, very light. But I love the consistency of it. I love the applicator. It doesn't have a strong scent. It feels really nice on the skin. It doesn't break down on me. I'm looking for my brush. It doesn't break down on me or anything like that. It doesn't feel crazy. It doesn't feel heavy. Mother fudge. It doesn't feel heavy or anything like that. And it offers just enough without being thick, you know, too heavy, too cakey or anything like that. I will always love my Shape Tape, and this is not like my holy grail items, you guys. Like you will not see me mention like my Oracle palette because it's a holy grail. I use it consistently over and over again, and I will for years. Same thing with my Tarte Shape Tape. Same thing with my Jouer lip treatment. These are things that I discovered this year and have been using and loving this year. So I will press the rest in. I will do the other side and be right back. All right, we are all set. As you can see, it really brightens, really lifts. I freaking love it. It lasts all day on the skin. I really, really love this stuff. I will definitely be buying it again. And then for my spot concealing, I have the Morphe, I think it's just called Morphe Concealer, and it is C235. And this is more of my actual skin tone. And I will use this just to spot conceal any of my friends that may be appearing. And then I just blend them out either with my fingers or I'll just take my little beaky sponge and press it in. Same thing, it's very affordable, does the job that it's supposed to do without being overly heavy, too cakey, too thick, lasts all day on the skin, and it does a really good job. So those are my top two concealers. Will for sure be purchasing them in 2020. Next up, we gotta set all this. We have to set our face. So I'm going to go back in with my IT Cosmetics little CC cream here and into a fluffy brush and set the perimeter of my face with this. And depending on, you know, kind of what foundation shade I'm wearing or how light or dark I am would depend on the shade of this. But I use this all year. And again, just the outer perimeter. Again, it's super soft. It doesn't, you know, take away all of like the luminosity in my skin. You guys know that I like luminosity to the skin. It feels nice. It doesn't feel heavy or cakey or thick or anything like that. So for under the eyes, the very beginning of the year, this was also a holy grail. So I don't know why I put it in this video, but I will take my NYX HD powder. This is Banana, and I was taking it on a sponge and just kind of pressing it under. I still love that, and I'm mentioning it because I did use it in the beginning half of 2019. But after we got this Becca, y'all, is the Hydra Mist Set and Refresh powder. Also the very first actual loose powder I've ever been able to use. Shocked. But ever since I got this, you guys, I freaking love it. First of all, the texture of it is so beautiful. It is so finely milled that, I mean, it doesn't make me react or anything like that. So I'm going to just set. It just feels beautiful. It doesn't set, you know, crazy or anything like that. It doesn't go into my fine lines and wrinkles. Lasts all day. Again, it doesn't give me any kind of reaction or anything like that. I love this stuff so much. This I would definitely pay full price for and repurchase it. And I always just kind of set just under the eye where I've put any concealer at, and then kind of in my little smile lines down here, and then a little bit here where sometimes I may get a little bit, not necessarily oil, but sweatiness, you know. And then I also have an honorable mention for my powders, and that is the Gigi Gorgeous, the Turnt Touch Up powder. I've used the shit out of this since I got it. And of course it's very recent, but this is so nice. Also very, very soft. Literally one of the softest feeling powders I have ever felt. It feels like silk on the skin. It doesn't over dry or anything like that. Again, it doesn't set or anything. I love it so much. So I'm going to dust away any powder. And we're going to move along to these brows. Honey child, honey child, honey child. We all know that my brows are a work in progress. We'll say that. But this year I discovered the Urban Decay Brow Blade and the Urban Decay Brow Endowed. Both are in Brunette Betty. I will do one and then show you what it looks like, why I love it, and then I will do the other one. So recently, now that I'm actually kind of growing my brows out and have a little bit of a brow, I've been using mostly just the Brow Endowed. I always want to say well endowed, the Brow Endowed. But the Brow Blade, I like to take, and this one I think is empty, so I might have wanted to get a new one out. Yeah, this is pretty much empty. But I would just take from here, like not this front area, from about right here, and kind of like make my defined line. And then kind of start pushing it up into here. And then also kind of take my little defined line here. And that was it as far as with the actual pencil side of this. Then I brush up again. And I take the blade side, which is why I absolutely love this so much. You literally just do little tiny flicking little motions. And I will say, first and foremost, it is more you know, pricey. It's $26. But it is waterproof. It's budge proof. There is a slight learning curve. Less is more. Okay. Don't be just trying to go in and go ham. And you want to definitely do a nice soft flicking motion, of course, to mimic, you know, singular hairs. And you want to kind of work fast if you're going to, you know, walk back through it or set it or anything like that. That's why I always keep my little spoolies handy, and I'm just going to kind of brush through it just a little bit. But it is so natural looking, and it's so easy. It, again, is waterproof. It stays on all day. You know, like I said, if you kind of go in a little bit too heavy-handed or something like that, I feel like, you know, you can look a little bit crazy. But, I mean, look at the difference. And this is in real time, within a few seconds, pretty much. So, again, I just do, like, little soft flicking motions, little hair-like motions. And that is it. Like, that is what I've done with my brows pretty much the entire year. I fucking love both of these. I'm also going to go into, not the primer, but if I'm not going to use the brow blade and actually do kind of like a full-on brow, if you will, I will use the primer first and then the actual the actual pigment. So I will take this on top And this, again, is something that you need to really work fast. You need to set it in place. A little goes a long way because it dries really, really, really fast, and it is very heavily pigmented, you guys. So, and then again, quickly, I just spoolie everybody back up. I haven't even been like cleaning under my brows or anything. I've literally just been letting them go. You guys have seen that. So I'll do the other side and I'll be right back. And we have brows. They're not exactly even. There's way more hair on this side that I'm working with than there's on this side, but you know, it is what it is. But anyways, both of these, I actually have repurchased both. I have an extra one of these and an extra full size of this. So yeah, love, love, love. Honestly, gonna say could not live without. Okay, I would rather have brows and like bronzer and mascara than anything else, even above having foundation on my face. Okay, so next up, we're gonna go to bronzer. I don't always contour. Y'all know I just take like a smaller brush and kind of define things and then go from there. But I have two bronzers that I was in love with this year. And first is the Cover FX palette. It is the Perfector Face palette. And that is what she looks like. I've used this a million times, and I also had this kind of in my blush category as well. But I literally was mixing this, this, and this all together and then kind of buffing it into the skin. Works beautifully, feels really nice. The pigment is buildable, not super, super heavily pigmented, which I like, because then you can build it up as much as you kind of need to, and it also lasts all day on the skin. This is a stunning palette. If you can get one like on Mercari or somewhere for a lot cheaper, do it. Okay, next up is one that I used all summer long and since, and it is my Morphe bronzer in the Glamour Bronze Megastar. It is enormous and very inexpensive. Now this, I will warn you, that is what it looks like. Very warm, very toasty, but I love it. This though, less is more. And of course I'm going in with my beauty brush. I start more towards the actual hairline with this particular one because it is a lot more deep and a lot more pigmented. Literally, you guys, a dab is enough, okay? And then I kind of push it up, go up into the hairline again. And I love a beautiful, warm, rich bronzer, even right now when it's winter time. And again, I don't really contour typically. So this is just enough to bring some warmth, just bring some life back into the skin. And again, I kind of keep it pushed up into the hairline and then just a little bit around the jawline. But it is absolutely stunning. Again, very, very inexpensive. I would not recommend this for very fair skin. But I even think if you have medium skin, like I know that my mom, who's Native American, could definitely like use this. But yeah, if you have super fair skin, word of caution. And again, a little goes a long way. That's also why I like to use my Judy brush with this, because it's so big and fluffy that it puts down just the right amount of pigment. I mean, I cannot speak enough about this freaking bronzer. It is stunning. I cannot wait until summertime to bust this out again, because of course I recently found something else that I love, my Hourglass one, which I've been using nonstop. But that needs to be an honorable mention because I didn't use it all year long and it is a new discovery. But again, very, very beautiful, very richly pigmented, lasts all day on the skin, does not have a strong scent to it. And you guys know I really love glowy bronzers like my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil, my Too Faced Sun Bunny. Those will always be holy grails that I will always repurchase. But there was just something about how beautiful this looked on my skin all summer long. I mean, it is stunning. I love it. I love it. Alrighty, so that's the bronzers. I'm going to set my face, and we're getting to setting sprays, priming sprays, things like that. Absolutely fell in love with MAC Fix Plus this year. I used an entire coconut one. Loved it so much. Loved. And yes, I was late to the party. I just discovered it this year. But I also discovered my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. And you guys know that once I do most of kind of my powder products, I will go in and spray. I'll finish off my powder products, go in and spray again, do highlight, spray again at the end. But first and foremost, I love the smell of this. The pump and the sprayer is so unbelievably fine that it doesn't oversaturate the skin. Therefore, again, I can use it multiple times in my makeup application. And then I just kind of press everything in before I move forward to like my blushes and stuff like that. But the MAC Fix Plus, I already bought 2 extra ones at the time that I bought the other one. And then my Pretty Fresh will 100% be purchasing this again. I love it. It smells so nice. Really, really soft coconutty scent. If you don't like coconut at all, I would stay away. But if you can handle a light, kind of really fresh smelling coconut, I think you'll really enjoy this. And again, it just hydrates. It feels really nice on the skin, as does the MAC Fix Plus. I've also used the MAC all year long on my brushes and stuff like that for when I'm wetting brushes and doing metallic shades. Love both equally. They're fan-fucking-tastic. Next up is highlights. And I have a couple. One of them is put up, so I don't have it to actually show you guys. But my Jeffree Star, the Mystery Frost that we got in our, god dang it, if I can open it, that we got in the Halloween mystery bags. I've used this nonstop until I got a couple of newer ones, which you guys will also see. But I freaking love it. I also love the fact that going into summer when I'm very tan again, I can still use it and get some use out of it. My other one that I used all year long leading up to getting this one was my Ofra All of the Lights. You guys have heard me rave about Ofra for a very long time. I feel like, hands down, they have the absolute best highlighters on the market. And the All of the Lights is so beautiful because it has a mixture of lighter shades, darker shades. I feel like anybody could use it. I feel like you can use it year round. You know, when you're very, very fair, you know, maybe in the winter time, you can use it. When you're super, super tan in the dead of summer, you can use it. But I used it all the time. I mean, literally all year. But this one I love just as much. I will say I do feel like this formula is slightly kind of chalky, a little bit powdery. But I don't mind it because it is so beautiful on the skin. And I love the tone of it. I love the color of it. It's stunning. So those are my 2 highlighters. If you hear anything, I'm sorry. It is New Year's Eve, so I've been hearing fireworks, and then my husband just cranked his truck. My bad. It's real life, y'all. So those are my highlights. I always will go back in and spray. I'm going to do my blush first, and then we will do that. Moving along to blush, shouldn't be a surprise to anybody here. If I'm not in my Oracle palette, which again, it's not in this video because it's my holy grail and I did not discover it this year. If I'm not using that, we're going into the Cover FX one that I just mentioned. All summer long, I used the Serafina blush from Juvia's Place, and what I was doing during the summer was lightly tapping into this, then into my All the Lights, and kind of buffing both together with this soft open brush. Beautiful. And you talk about the most stunning orangey terracotta shade of a blush, especially in the summer. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful. Again, I will give a word of caution, going very lightly with this. Again, I wouldn't use something that is like too closed off of a bristled brush. Use an open kind of fluffy brush to lay this down. Once it's there and it sticks, and it can be kind of hard to blend out if you put too much down. Other than that though, love it. Lasts all day on the skin. It looks absolutely stunning. If you have like medium to deeper skin as well, love. Used it all summer long. And then in the past probably what, 2 months, 3 months since we got this, I've used it almost every single time. It is the Madison Miller and Ofra blush. All You Need Is Love. And it's very similar to the Juvia's Place in regard to like being more orange, more terracotta. But this one is a little bit lighter, obviously, as you can tell. And again, I just go into a little soft brush. I mean, I've used the shit out of this since receiving it. I love it. But again, a nice little soft open brush, tap off the excess, and I really place it down on my on the apples of my cheeks first. Kind of like how I do my foundation and get most of the product off. Then I will do circular buffing motions and then put it onto the rest of the skin across my nose and stuff as well. I cannot talk. I feel like I've never filmed a day in my life. But again, kind of a little more heavy on the actual apple. And then across the bridge of the nose, and then really softly kind of taking it everywhere else. Again, just to build up that beautiful kind of light, and oh, I love it. I love this blush so damn much. Moving along to, checking my list. Oh yes, my eyeshadows, of course, of course. Let me go ahead and press this out and make sure that I'm ready. I'm not actually going to be doing my eyeshadow. I'm going to prep, well, no, because I'm doing another video. I'm not actually doing my eyeshadow on this video, which is good because we're already at 25 minutes. But I have so many to talk about, so many that I love. Of course, there are a few that I just discovered that will be in our honorable mentions. But first up is my Urban Decay Naked Honey. Oh my God. I literally I'm obsessed with this palette. Rarely have put it down. I've been using it a lot, as you will be able to tell. But I love this palette so much. It is definitely my color scheme. They blend well. They look beautiful. They don't get patchy. They don't crease on my lids. Of course, it's my color story. I love beautiful, rich, warm tones. I love golds. There's something that I can deepen up my outer corner with. There's a beautiful bone shade to like set the lid with. I could not ask for a better palette than this. I've used it a million times. I've spoken about it several times and I love it. Again, I'm filming for another video after this that I'm doing my eyes with, so I do apologize, but I will put pictures up of me using this, or if you guys want to see an in-depth tutorial on it, I think I may have one already, but if not, then let me know. I will for sure do that for y'all. But I absolutely fucking love this palette. Next up is my Huda Beauty. This is the Warm Brown Obsessions little mini palette. Another one that I have used and used and used and used this year. Same thing, beautifully pigmented. They all work really well together. They stay in place. They don't break down or anything like that. The lasting power is there. I love them. I absolutely love this palette so much. And I'm excited to try my green one that I've had for months and still haven't tried. And then another palette that I had to bring up because I've used this particular shade 4 million times. It is my Losing My Religion palette from Rebel Rouge Labs. I have used the palette in its entirety a few times, but this particular shade right here, Doll Parts, I have used and used and used and used. And I'm trying to get it to where you guys can actually see that. I've used it over and over and over again. Even if I'm literally, and I've said this quite a few times, I take a huge fluffy brush, dip into Doll Parts, and just either do the entire lid or just a little wash of color in my crease, throw on some bronzer, throw on some, you know, lip oil, put some mascara on, and I'm literally done. This color is amazing. I hope she does come out with these as singles, or maybe she could do little quads this coming year. Wink, wink. Because I would purchase this. I would purchase the entire palette again to get this shade. I'm telling you guys, it is absolutely phenomenal. It is one of the best shades I've ever used as far as transition shades go. I love it. So that is it for eyeshadow palettes. And then we are going to move on to my Damn Girl mascara. I do not have an open Damn Girl mascara, and I'm obviously waiting to do my eyes. But the Damn Girl mascara, you guys, Better Than Sex has been my ride or die for probably 3 years, at least 3 years. But the Damn Girl, I just feel like it gives such a much more defined kind of fluffy, voluminous lash. I will say that the wand on it is a little thicker, so it can be kind of hard to get into your inner lashes. I just kind of curve the wand some and do this, you know, from on top. But it's voluminous, it's very dark, very black, gives curl, length, dimension. I love that mascara so much. Again, I do not have one open and I'm doing my eyes in another video, but I love it so much. Another one that I was really shocked that I liked was the, let me just make sure I'm saying it, because I always fuck this up. I get Illamasqua and Il Makiage mixed up. I don't know how. The Il Makiage mascara with like the little teeth, and FYI, this one with the Damn Girl together, you look like you're wearing falsies. And you guys know I'm not a falsies fan, so if I can find a really good mascara that I feel like gives me, you know, a length, volume, it's super black but doesn't get spidery, I'm all about it. So this one and the Damn Girl, phenomenal, phenomenal mascaras. Next up, I'm going to talk about my Tarte Fake Awake little liner. I actually just ordered another one in a different brand. Hopefully that one works just as good. This is my third little one that I've gone through. And it is literally, that's all I have left too. It is literally just a nude pencil. And it just looks really beautiful, stays in place all day long. It doesn't like bleed or come down or anything like that. And it just opens the eyes enough, gives you that wide awake look, fake awake. I love it, seriously. And I think it's like $20 or $22 for a full size, 100% worth it. And I would absolutely repurchase this again and again and again. You guys know that I have an aversion to a lot of liners. I'm allergic to a lot of things, very sensitive to liners. And this is one of them that I can use. Again, I've used it multiple times and I can use it. It stays in the waterline, it lasts all day, and it's absolutely stunning. So that is that. Next up, I'm going to talk about, you guys see me use this a million times, and it actually got me back into using liquid liner. It is the Better Than Sex by Too Faced, the Easy Glide Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. And again, it's waterproof, it lasts all day. It's got the super tiniest little itty bitty brush on it. And it's not like a felt tip, it's actually like a little brush. You can see multiple little kind of hairs in there. Very black, works very well, glides over glitter, glides over whatever you have down, metallic shadows, etc. It's very fine, very black, and because it's an actual brush tip, it really kind of bends to the actual shape of your eye. Stays on all day, the precision is there, the lasting proof is there. I love it, love, love, love. We'll repurchase this again. Next up, we are going into, let me make sure I got everything, y'all. Even though everything's set out, I'm still nervous I'm gonna forget something, and I'm really trying to build the whole face and show you guys as I go. Oh yeah, brushes. We're gonna talk about a few brushes. I have my Judy brush, which I just bought 2 more. I love this brush so much, you guys. Just the way that it's weighted. Like it's like perfectly weighted, and the weight is just distributed at the bottom and the top of it. It's super open and fluffy, really, really soft, but not so soft that you don't feel like you're getting any pigment in the brush. It's perfect. It's beautiful. I've used it all year long. Just bought 2 more. We'll continue to use it. It's beautiful as well, and it's very inexpensive. So the Judy brush is one of my top 19 of 19. Next up is, I love It Cosmetics brushes, like period. I could just call that number whatever and it'd be like all of them. But the It Cosmetics love is the foundation brush, the one that they do every year, special limited edition for cancer. It is, first of all, it's beautiful. It's very aesthetically pleasing, but the shape is really nice. You guys know that I love my flat top kabuki brushes, and I've used this nonstop. I love this brush. Their quality is phenomenal. It's weighty, but not too heavy. I like the length of it. Everything about this brush is fantastic. Next up, this is also fairly a newer brush, maybe a month-ish old, a month and a half, something like that. But it is the little SL Miss Glam tapered face brush, the blue one with the really pretty little sparkly whatever and the little diamonds. I love this brush so damn much. I've literally used it nonstop for my highlight. It just fits perfectly right here. You can go really, really softly with this, or you can also build it up, because even though it's got nice fluffy fibers, you know, therefore placing less product down, you can also kind of pack it on and then really go to town with it. I love it. It's, again, really beautiful. It's weighty. I love this brush so much, and I got it for like $5 as an add-on through Ipsy. But I love their brushes overall. They're another brush brand that I literally have a ton of their brushes and love them so much. And then next up is my Beaky blenders. I was gifted these for a review several months back, and yeah, I used one so much that it already had holes and stuff in it, and I had to toss it. And I just love them. You guys know that I don't do sponges. Sorry, I don't do sponges for my actual like foundation application. I've tried it, y'all. I just can't do it. It takes up too much product. To me, it doesn't give even application, and you use way too much foundation. I just don't like them, period. But for pressing out, you know, my concealer and stuff like that, doing my cut lines down here for when I'm baking or things like that, I freaking love it. It's super, super soft, super spongy. It gets enormous when it gets wet. I love these so much. And for me to actually love a sponge and know that I would go repurchase it, and I will be, I'm blown away myself, because y'all know I'm not a sponge girl, okay? But this sponge is fan-fucking-tastic. I love it. And then next up, we are moving on to lip products. And my top, it was kind of a tie between 3 different things. But first and foremost was my little Vice. It was the Lip Chemistry in the shade Streak. You guys saw me use this a million times. It's so beautiful. I was a little underwhelmed with the actual color of it, because it was supposed to have been a deep, deep kind of peachy, you know, corally color. So it was a little bit lighter than I thought it was going to be. Again, something that I wore all summer long, because you put it on and you have this beautiful little flush of color and kind of the really pretty glossiness from the outer layer of it. But then as you wear it and the actual gloss part wears down, you are left with this beautiful little kiss of color on the lips that lasted all day long. I want to get more colors for this. I love this. I used it so much in the summertime. And then 2 other products. Again, these are all kind of tied. The Jeffree Star Christmas cookie. Oh my God. Again, it's a newer one for me, but I've used it a bunch of times, and it is just the most beautiful, true kind of beigey nude color. Again, his formula is beautiful. It lasts all day. It can be slightly over drying, kind of the same way that I described Kylie Cosmetics lippies. These are beautiful. They're very opaque. They go on with one swipe. If you're eating a lot or eating oily types of foods, they will break down pretty quickly, but you will definitely need to rehydrate your lips after using these, because your lips definitely will dry down after using these. But again, they last all day. He has a million colors. They're eye safe. This color is beautiful. I also this year discovered Dose of Colors lippies, and your girl is hooked. This is the shade Desert Suede. Again, it's a nude, duh. But this is more of a brown, like chocolatey nude, which y'all know I love as well. This is one of the best formulas that I've used. This, Laura Lee, Lime Crime, Rebel Rouge Labs, like those are all up in the top. Ofra, it's right there with all the other ones that I absolutely love and I'm obsessed with. And I now have 4 of these, and I started with this one. So I love, love, love this. And it's so beautiful, even on deeper skin tones. If you go in with a brown liner and then put this on top, stunning. I think if you have very, very fair skin, it may be a little bit too rich of a color on you. And I would probably recommend something like Christmas Cookie. But these are my top lips of the entire year for 2019. I love, 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 love. And then I'm going into my lip oils. Y'all know I swear by lip oils, lip treatments. Again, I love the Kopari like little gloss. I love the Jouer, but those are holy grail products. Those are my like everyday ride or die, would buy them a million times over. So this year I discovered, and you can see I used it a lot. This is an Ipsy bag, and it is the Laka Prickly Pear little like gloss or lip oil. This one I love because I was so afraid at the color of this, because I was like, oh, that's really bright. But it just gives a teeny tiny little flush of just this pretty baby pink. It lasts all day on the lips. It feels beautiful. It doesn't feel heavy or thick. It doesn't feel, you know, like petroleum based or anything like that. It doesn't feel tacky or sticky. It just feels like a beautiful, luscious oil on the lips, and I love it. I also use the hell out of this Clarins Instant Light Lip Comfort Oil. And I think I had gotten this in like an Allure. Again, really beautiful on the lips, lasts for a very long time, gives you that beautiful high shine without being tacky or sticky or anything like that. I love it. And then recently we have to do an honorable mention because I love this product and I've used it every day since I got it. And we got this also in an Ipsy bag. It is the TPSY Lip Crush Lip Oil. And that is what it looks like. And I've spoken about this a couple times recently, but it looks sheer when you first put it on the lips. And then within just a couple of minutes, you see this little tiny flush of pink pop through, but not Barbie doll pink, not gumball pink, not the Riri pink that Riri does not like. But I'll go ahead and put some of this on because I love it. But again, it starts off sheer. And then you can see it's really starting to pick up and become pink. Excuse the foundation. But again, it feels beautiful on the lips. It feels very comfortable. It does not feel heavy. It is not sticky at all. None. And y'all know that's why I don't do gloss. Okay. But it is stunning. It is so, so pretty. And it feels really, really nice on the skin. And it just takes it to just this really pretty little flush of pink. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. This would be the top, but I just got it. So, you know, the other two I've been using quite frequently. And then we're going to get into just a couple, I know this is becoming long, I'm so sorry, a couple of honorable mentions just because they are products that I recently got. So I didn't want to say, hey, this is a holy grail. Hey, this is the top of 2019, because all of these other products that I've shown, I literally used and used and used, you know, for months at a time. So first up is my Juvia's Place foundation. It is the I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation. I have the shade Capri. You guys saw me use this and I've used it since and I love it. The texture is so beautiful. It feels really soft and velvety, almost like a mousse-like consistency. Blends out beautifully, lasts all day on the skin. Made my skin actually feel very, very soft. Like even right now, my skin feels soft, but when I put this on, it feels like there's silk on my skin. It blends out beautifully, doesn't get heavy, doesn't crease or anything like that, and the coverage is phenomenal. Love it, and it's 20 bucks. Another honorable mention, just because I just got it, Cosmetics, the Cookie Highlight. I had heard so many things about this, and I was like, do I really want to get it? Because it is a pinker, you know, highlight. But y'all, I mean, you can already see I've used the shit out of it. Pretty much every time I've done my makeup since getting this, I've used it. I'm either using this or my Jaclyn Hill one. So you can see just how unbelievably blinding that is. If we can get focused. Hello, hello. There we go. It is stunning, you guys. It's not glittery. It's not heavy or anything like that. It's just this beautiful, wet, dewy yumminess. I love it. And I'm actually very shocked that I love it so much because it is more pink. It's kind of a pink meets champagne. And I'll put just a little pop of it right here. It is stunning. It lasts all day on the skin. It is, I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you are a true like highlight hoe like myself, honey, you will love this. I mean, it's stunning. It doesn't show a lot of texture or anything like that. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Next up in my honorable mentions, speaking of highlight, is my Jaclyn Hill, the Flash palette. I've used this quite a few times since getting it. I will just let you know also that this does have a lot of kickback. I really feel like I'm using a lot more of this than I do maybe of other products. Again, that doesn't bother me. However, at a $50 price point, you might use more than you really feel like you need to use, but they feel beautiful. They feel like silk. They're blinding. You can build them up to way outer space blinding, or you can also tone them down just a little bit with a more fluffy brush. I would definitely repurchase this again, even at the $50 price point. I think that it's beautiful. They last all day on the skin. It's stunning. But again, warning, you know, I feel like you do use a lot of the product. If that bothers you, especially at $50, then maybe stay away. Next up is something that you guys saw that I was very much on the fence over. I wanted it last year and didn't get it. And then all year long, I sat around and I was like, God, you know, do I really want to get one because it costs this much? And I waited and I waited and I waited. And then finally, they had a VIB sale at Sephora, and then it was on sale and my coupon. So I finally got the Hourglass Ambient Lighting. This is the Ghost one, the Lighting Edit Ghost. I am so happy that I got this. I literally have used it almost every single time that I have done my makeup, that I'm doing my videos. It is absolutely stunning. And I love the fact that it is an all-in-one. I can literally throw on my foundation, do a little bit of brow. I have, you know, mascara, and then I can set my face. I could do blush. I can highlight. I can bronze. I love this palette so much, you guys. This for sure is going to be on my 2020s unless something off the charts happens to come out, but I love it. I'm so happy that I got it. I'm so happy that you guys literally convinced me, because I was going to send it back. You guys were like, no, you're going to love it. Use it. And I do. I absolutely love it. And it's not anything that, it's not super pigmented. It's not super heavy. You do have to build it up some. And a lot of people may not like that, but with a product like this, I think that it could be universal. You know, I think if you have very, very fair skin to light skin, even medium skin, depending on how you place it, depending on how much you use, you know, the thickness of your bristles on your brush, you can really build it up to, you know, give a more bold look with it and make it more opaque. But then you can also just have a sheer wash of color. But they don't dry my skin down. They don't settle on my fine lines and wrinkles or anything like that. It is, every penny that I spent on this, 100% worth it. And then last but not least, and this should have been a favorite, but I just started using it a couple months ago, so I want it to be fair. It is my Jackie Aina palette by ABH. You guys. I've used and used and used and used and used this palette since I got it. I love it. It is so heavily pigmented and so beautifully pigmented. I will kind of also warn with this one, less is more with this. Pick up a little bit at a time, tap your brush as well, go in and really blend everything out because they are very heavily pigmented, but they stay all day. The lasting power is there. You guys know that's super important to me. They never get muddy, chalky, weird, heavy, and I've used this multiple times. I also feel like this is going to be a top 20 in 2020. I just love it. This is also a palette that I would repurchase. Same as like my ABH Modern Renaissance. This palette is, they fucking hit the nail on the head with this one. With that being said, oh my gosh, I'm finally done. Thank you guys for being so patient with me. Welcome to the new year. I'm so excited to start a new year, a new chapter. Please God, don't let it be as bad as 2019. Yes, and I want to see y'all's videos if you created one. If you have one, again, I'm way behind. I apologize. But yeah, this is my top 19 in 19, and it was all categories of makeup. Thank you all so much for a wonderful year. I am looking forward to a brand new year with lots of great adventures with you all. Thank you so much for being part of my beauty family, and be your best beautiful. Bye!